Every chronicle from 1683 called it the largest army Europe had ever faced. That number was mostly fear-talking, but even the truth was terrifying enough to nearly end Vienna. By the summer of that year, an Ottoman force many times the size of the city it besieged had marched out of Constantinople under Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha. The ambition behind it went back over 2 centuries. Since the fall of Constantinople in 1453, the Ottomans had considered themselves the true heirs of Rome, and Vienna, the seat of the Habsburg emperors, was the last prize standing between them and that claim. In August of 1682, the horsetail standards went up outside the Sultan's palace, the traditional call to war. By spring, the army was moving. Emperor Leopold I read the reports, gathered his court, and fled the city along with tens of thousands of terrified refugees. Vienna was left to hold itself. Command of the defense fell to Count Ernst Rüdiger von Starhemberg, 11,000 soldiers, 5,000 armed townsmen, 370 cannon, against a siege that reached the walls on July the 14th. Kara Mustafa offered the city one choice: surrender, convert to Islam, or die. Starhemberg refused. What followed was not a storm of cannon fire. The Ottomans lacked the heavy siege guns to break Vienna's walls outright. Instead, they went underground. Some 5,000 sappers dug tunnel after tunnel beneath the fortifications, packing them with gunpowder. The defenders dug back, racing through the dark to find each mine before it detonated. By late August, food was running out. Dysentery was spreading through the garrison, and Starhemberg had given an order of his own. Any soldier caught asleep at his post would be executed on the spot. Help was already moving, if slowly. Pope Innocent XI spent months building a coalition of Christian states. Austrian and German troops assembled under Charles V, Duke of Lorraine. And from Poland came the man history would remember best, King Jan III Sobieski, already famous as the Lion of Chotin, marching an army that would make the relief force more than 80,000 strong. On September the 11th, the Allies took the high ground above the Ottoman camp, the forested ridge of the Kahlenberg. The next morning, the battle began, and here Kara Mustafa made the decision that would cost him everything. Rather than pulling his full army back to face the relief force head-on, he split it, leaving thousands of Janissaries in the siege trenches for one last assault on the walls. Gambling he could take the city before the hills above him emptied. He was wrong. Around 5 in the afternoon, the Allied cavalry came down off the Kahlenberg. 20,000 horsemen, Sobieski riding at their head, Polish winged hussars leading the charge. It remains one of the largest cavalry charges ever recorded. The Ottoman lines, already stretched between 2 fights, broke within hours. What had been an army became a rout. That evening, Sobieski wrote a message that echoed Julius Caesar, 13 centuries late. Venimus vidimus, Deus vicit. We came, we saw, God conquered. Kara Mustafa did not survive his failure long. In December of that year in Belgrade, the Sultan's men executed him with a silk cord, the traditional death for a disgraced official, too high-ranking to behead. By the following year, the coalition that had saved Vienna was formalized as the Holy League and turned from defense to offense. September the 12th, 1683, marks the year the Ottoman Empire's westward advance stopped for good, and its long retreat from Europe began. As for that army once feared at 200,000 strong, modern historians think the truth was smaller and stranger. The core Ottoman force numbered closer to 90,000. Around it rode tens of thousands more. Crimean Tatar cavalry scouting ahead, Hungarian rebels under Imre Thököly, vassal troops from Moldavia, Wallachia, and Transylvania. Counted all together, the total does land somewhere near 200,000. Just not in the way the terrified chroniclers of the siege imagined it. One more thing survived the battle, half legend, half fact. In the abandoned Ottoman camp, the victors found hundreds of sacks filled with strange dark beans. According to a popular story, a Polish-Ukrainian merchant and spy named Jerzy Kolczycki, a man who had slipped through Ottoman lines in disguise during the siege to carry messages for the defenders, claimed the beans as his reward and began serving the bitter drink with milk and honey. Vienna's coffeehouse culture likely has older roots than that one legend admits, but the story has never stopped being told. and nearly 3 decades later, the bronze from captured Ottoman cannons was melted down and cast into a bell, the Pommern, still hanging in the tower of St. Stephen's Cathedral. It rings there today, over a city that on a September afternoon in 1683 came within one flanking charge of a very different history.